Good evening, and welcome to the City of Hillsboro's 2022 State of the City Address. I'm Mayor Steve Calloway, and thank you for watching our live stream on the City of Hillsboro's Facebook page live, and thank you to all of our community members who are watching our Spanish language interpretation on Zoom, and for the first time, for our community members who are deaf and hard of hearing, we're also offering ASL interpretation. Now, this is the second straight year that our State of the City is being held online. We were hoping to host this event live at our Hidden Creek Community Center, but right now we need to be careful and mindful of the increase in COVID cases. So I really hope to be able to greet each and every one of you in person next year, but knowing that we wouldn't be meeting in person this year, I stopped by the Hidden Creek Community Center just so I could show you around. Hi, Hillsboro. Welcome to Hidden Creek Community Center. This facility is awesome. It's inclusive and accessible to all of us, and it's a great place to come and exercise, to learn, to relax, and to make new friends. So come with me and let's take a look around. So after you check in, be sure you stop at the front desk and say hi to the wonderful staff. Hi, wonderful staff.
Welcome, Mayor. Enjoy your time and let us know if we can help.
Thank you, I sure will. And when you stop at the front desk, remember to pick up information about all of the programs and classes that are available at the different parks and rec sites around our city. I can assure you that was nothing but net. Well, how great is this gym space? It can be reconfigured for volleyball, pickleball, of course basketball, kids activities, and we even have wheelchair rugby that is practicing here. And outside, we have ping pong and foosball, and we also have a kids club. Now, let's go upstairs. Upstairs in our fitness area, we have classrooms for yoga, Zumba, and TRX. We have weights and adaptive equipment as well. And if you're interested in a cardio workout, we have the cycle machines and treadmills, the elliptical machines, Stairmasters, you name it, we've got it. Now, normally after a workout, you'd head to the locker room. But today, I want to show you one of the most special parts of Hidden Creek. It's Kalapuya Hall. Come with me. Kalapuya Hall, named after the Native American tribes of Western Oregon, is a great community gathering place. It's able to host weddings and parties because we have a catering kitchen. And it's also great for community meetings. And hopefully next year in 2023, we'll be gathered here for the State of the City. But in the meantime, come by Hidden Creek and enjoy the facilities, use the equipment, and enjoy the amenities. When you're done exercising your body, you can exercise your mind by learning about the history of the Kalapuyan people. You can also check out a book from the novel branch of the Hillsboro Public Library, which is located right here at Hidden Creek as well. So thank you for your time. I've enjoyed this tour of Hidden Creek with you, and I look forward to seeing you here in the weeks to come. I'm so glad you got to see how beautiful Hidden Creek Community Center is, and I encourage you to visit the facility and take advantage of the amenities and programs throughout the year ahead. Now, what a year it has been. When we planned this event for 2022, we didn't realize that we would really be planning for 2022, TOO. It's been a difficult year, emotionally and for many, financially. And the City of Hillsboro continues to prioritize essential services and the larger needs of our community with this in mind. We care, and we're making decisions from this place of compassion. We're all connected, and the decisions that we make as a council and as a community impact us all. And as we have seen at the national level, at the state level, at the regional and county levels, and here in our city, decisions have big impacts. Tonight, we will hear from our entire City Council in recorded videos, but I want to thank them all and their families for their support and involvement. I also want to offer a special thanks to my wife, Joan, for all that she does for me and our city. Now, I love how our State of the City offers a better understanding of our community and the direction that we are moving in. Sometimes when you're going on a trip, half the fun is anticipating the journey. And when you know where the city is going, half the fun is anticipating what's coming and to be in the know. This helps you be in the know so that you can watch what's coming and then also share that with others. And because you read the latest City Views newsletters, you know that the theme for 2022 State of the City is We Love Hillsboro. And you'll hear that word love a lot. When you ask 100 community members, what do you love about Hillsboro? You will easily get 100 different answers. Many of those will be incorporated in tonight's address. There's so much to love and appreciate about our hometown, and we want to celebrate that love here.
I love Hillsboro because of all of the wonderful people. After all, it's the people of this city that make the most precious memories for me and my family. Good people who volunteer at their local schools, coach youth sports teams, give their time at community nonprofits. You know, the people that run our local businesses and hardworking employees that give us the products and services and experiences that we all love and enjoy. People who come together and celebrate at community events, like parades, and even attend Hillsboro Hops games. So in short, it's you, people, that make this a wonderful place to live. So thank you. Keep it up, because together we can grow great things.
This is Kyle's 8th and final year on our city council, and I am grateful for his partnership, his friendship. I'm grateful for his vision, his leadership, and his collaborative approach to problem solving. And we thank him and his family, Lisa, and his children, Caden and Lily, for their support and their involvement in our community. And as Kyle said, we love the people. We love who we are. I love who we are. And I love that we all earned the honor of Hillsboro being ranked the 7th best place to live in the United States. And if you're wondering if one of the criteria was having an amazing mayor, it wasn't, but thank you. And I think there's a deeper message behind this, a message of loving each other and taking care of each other as individuals and as part of a larger community. It's represented in displays like Cindy Cosenzo's Love on the Fence campaign, or Love Rocks found around our neighborhoods, or the 5 simple actions of resolution kindness. And throughout this event, I hope you will reflect on who we are as Hillsboro community members. I love that we have a Youth Advisory Council, our YAC. And during this last year, our YAC members hosted a COVID-19 vaccine virtual town hall with great information shared by local health experts. And I love that for 9 straight years, we as a city have provided scholarships for first-time college students through our PCC Future Connect support. More than $1 million since 2013 has been invested in the lives of our future leaders. And I love the energy and enthusiasm of our students. I love how our high schoolers raise money for those in need, such as the students at Century High School who raised $22,000 during December for families in need of groceries. I love our teachers and educators. Whether it's a public, private, or faith-based schools, parents know how important teachers and educators are to their children, and the pandemic has made this even more clear. I love our schools. I love how the city partnered with the Hillsboro School District to expand after-school programs to all K-6 schools in Hillsboro, tripled the number of students served, and created more than 300 nearly fully funded scholarships to support families in need. A large portion of this funding comes from the city's allocation of American Rescue Plan funds. And as a retired educator, I've seen the benefits of early childhood education, and that's why I'm excited to tell you that this year, the Hillsboro Parks and Recreation Department will launch new enrichment programs and classes for all
preschool teachers, or for all preschool children. And thinking of teachers, I also love that the first teachers of children are those within the four walls of their homes, the family. I love our families. I love that we're a multi-generational city. Grandparents and grandchildren live within walking distance, and sometimes that distance may be one room to another, and other times it's one block to the next. I love our many people of faith, friends from different religions with different faith traditions. And I love our neighbors who don't practice a particular faith, yet respect others who do. And I love our neighbors who do practice a faith and yet respect those who choose not to. I love how we honor our veterans throughout the year at every Hops game and at Veterans Plaza. And I want to acknowledge and thank all who have served and are serving our country. And I would like to acknowledge Lynn Kerwin, Dale and Leanne Peck, the American Legion, and the Veterans of Foreign Wars for all they do to support, help, and honor our veterans throughout our city. I love our first responders, and what they did together in our recent Main Street fires illustrates how they all individually and collectively work on our behalf. They are the bravest people in the world. Every day at work is a day they are prepared to protect others at their own personal risk. Simply stated, our firefighters are fantastic. They're the reason the downtown fire on Main Street didn't spread to the entire block. And they're the reason the apartment fire on New Year's Day didn't spread to other apartments. Since September 2020, they have received their excellent training locally here in Hillsboro at our Wood Street Public Safety Training Facility. And in May, we expect to move forward with the renewal of our local option levy that funds our firefighters, our police, and our parks maintenance workers. This levy has been in place for over 20 years, since 1999, and provides funding to support our community's service needs. Now, we're fortunate to have such incredible law enforcement professionals working to protect our community. And despite these stressful times, they continue to raise the bar for community policing and service. And I'm grateful that we can look ahead to a future police headquarters for Hillsboro Police Department that will support our Hillsboro officers in serving our community so well. Now, in the aftermath of the Main Street fire, I want to personally thank our investigators from the Hillsboro Police Department and the Fire and Rescue Department who worked quickly to determine what happened, to arrest the suspected arsonist, and to help prevent other fires from happening. I also want to express our deep appreciation to Les Stuff Antiques and La Mixteca, Oaxaca for providing the video that proved critical to the arson investigation. Now, our firefighters get a lot of help from other city employees who don't wear a turnout. From our police officers who kept the scene clear, to our water crews who made sure that the water supply continued during the fire, to the public works crew sweeping up, and our building inspectors afterwards who checked for structural integrity and stability. You see, I love our essential city employees who keep the water flowing, the roads clear every single day. The public works crew, our winter warriors, who work 24/7 over Christmas weekend to make sure that the roads were safe as part of our winter weather response. They're the ones who lay down de-icer and plow our streets. They're the crews who spread gravel to keep us safe and then sweep it back up later so that bicyclists can ride safely. They're the same ones who kept the roads clean and clear during and after the downtown fire, and the crews that are helping to deliver the improvements along Jackson School Road. And I love that when we rake our leaves into the street each year, they get picked up. We all love our supported employees who actively contribute to making our city and community a better place, including our friends from TVW, Tualatin Valley Workshop. And it's a pleasure to announce that the City of Hillsboro has been selected as the 2021 Public Employer of the Year by the Oregon Resources Association. And thank you to TVW for the nomination. I love how committed all our employees have been to delivering services for our community during really challenging times. And we love all the people who work in Hillsboro. I love the people who work behind the scenes but never get thanked for their contributions. I'm talking about each and every one of you. I love our partners at PGE and Northwest Natural who keep us warm and safe and energized. And I'm grateful to all the linemen who get us back online when we have snow, ice, wind, or wildfires. And among others who serve our community are our healthcare workers. We love you too. And I love our ambulance drivers from Metro West, and I love that in Hillsboro you'll find world-class healthcare at OHSU Medical Center, Kaiser Westside Medical Center, and Providence.
Over a decade ago, my wife and I were looking for a new place to live. A city accepting of our LGBTQ AI+ family that was located in a beautiful part of the country with great amenities, schools, activities, and city governance. When we came to Oregon to look at places to live, we fell in love with the area and all it had to offer. As we made our way around the city, introducing ourselves to community members, we realized that the best part of Hillsboro was and is the people. Friendly, welcoming, informative, helpful, and fun, the people of Hillsboro truly care about building community, supporting one another, and celebrating the history and diverse culture of our area. Now, over 10 years later, my family and I have been able to enjoy all that Hillsboro has to offer. We've been able to be in service to our community, and of course, enjoy the friendship of our Hillsboro neighbors.
Councilor Pace, I love who we are. I love how after our first responders came through in a big way at those two devastating fires, our community stepped up as second responders. You volunteered your labor and time and donated your money and took part in fundraisers, all to support those impacted by the fires. And I'm proud to have this Portland Gear sweatshirt that shows how we feel. Heart for Hillsboro. And thank you to Portland Gear for being a part of a fundraiser and aiding the recovery of the fire. And for those who don't yet have their Heart for Hillsboro sweatshirt or shirt, please go to the Portland Gear website and order yours tonight. Now, there are so many other ways that we volunteer to help our community outside of an emergency. And those include the individuals who volunteer at our library and the senior center. I love how we volunteer to help others. And you see all ages volunteering throughout the year and during Hills Doer Day, which due to its popularity is now Hills Doer Month. You look out for each other and you lend a helping hand to build a more connected and engaged Hillsboro. You promote community health through vaccination sites. You connect with others through pen pal projects, personal shopping, and food drives. You helped with neighborhood litter cleanups and turned our parks into libraries with books and activities. You supported our neighbors on their best and worst days. You, our volunteers, kept our community strong, connected, and supported all throughout 2021. Thank you. We love our volunteers who serve on our city boards and commissions. You give back to the community in an area of your expertise and interest. Whether it's the Parks and Recreation Commission, the Arts and Culture Council, the Planning Commission, or others, we are so grateful for your service. Now, what do you love most about who we are? Maybe it's how our community works to be innovative. Maybe it's our highlight, high-speed internet service. Now, for me, I love the creativity we see in the art that's created, the chalk designs, the entrepreneurial creativity, and the spirit that you see. I love the creativity in the Christmas and holiday displays you see as you drive around our city. And maybe what you love most about who we are is our commitment to sustainability and the fact that we continue to be the #1 green power community in the United States, and the fact that we're the first city to move hydropower within our water pipes. And we're one of the top 100 green fleets in North America. Or maybe it's that we want homebuyers to be informed on home energy usage. Personally, I love that we are a Bee City and a Tree City USA community, and a monarch butterfly city. I love that we think ahead and we plan 50 years into the future. I love that we understand the value of job creation, that we know we cannot pause our support for employers who create diverse job opportunities, because if we are to be prepared to weather future recessions, we need to continue to create a variety of good jobs for our residents. And I love that we understand transportation planning takes time. It takes years, and sometimes, frustratingly, even decades. So we continue to update and advance Hillsboro's transportation system plan from all of the community input that we've received. And we share Hillsboro's input on transportation with our county, region, and state partners as well. I love that we think long-term and big picture with projects like our Willamette Water Supply Program, which will bring Hillsboro an additional water supply source to meet the needs of current and future generations. I love that we can rely on clean, safe drinking water when we turn on the tap. And I also love how we recognize and respond to the hardships we face. And because of that, we didn't shut off water for anyone for a full 18 months, regardless of their ability to pay. I love how we created programs to help provide utility bill assistance for people in need. We also provided rent assistance, food assistance, and a $10 a month gigabit internet connection through Highlight in the section of our community that is currently the least connected in the region. Our Highlight high-speed internet service continues to expand to serve more residential and commercial customers. All the Hillsboro School District schools are connected through the Highlight backbone. And it's continuing to expand to all neighborhoods in Hillsboro with more than 3,000 addresses currently served. And we allocated $3 million in Hillsboro's American Rescue Plan funds to expedite the delivery of Highlight service within our community around Chute Park. I love how we prioritize equity, and specifically racial equity. We see that in the makeup of our boards and commissions, and we see that in the awarding of our community service grants and our community impact grant. And internally, we show that prioritization through the hiring of our first diversity, equity, and inclusion manager, who is working to help us all advance racial equity and eliminate disparities and barriers. And we show that priority through the hiring of the city's first supplier diversity administrator. Hillsboro is working to enhance local economic opportunities for minority-owned, women-owned, and service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses and emerging small businesses. Our goal is to ensure that everyone in Hillsboro experiences the full benefits of living here.
The reasons that I love Hillsboro, now that I've served my first year on city council, it's offered me this perspective that only enhances those reasons. So in 1998, when my husband and I first moved to Hillsboro, we actually lived in the apartments and then the newer Tannisbourne area, which was filled with new people in our community. The sense of excitement, innovation, and people anticipating growth within Hillsboro. And so a year or so later, as we were looking for a home, as we expanded our family, I had the opportunity to drive and walk down the 10th Avenue corridor, which happens to be predominantly Latino. And as I got to know people and different parts of the community, it was then that I felt el corazón de la gente, the heart of the people. And so for me, to be home and to call home somewhere that has this balance of innovation and growth that's wrapped in el corazón de la gente, it's just been one of the best experiences that we've had, and we are happy to call home.
Thank you, Councilor Roletto. We are so glad that you are on our council. I love how we are making our services and facilities more accessible and easier to use. I love that we're going to build an inclusive playground for all kids in Hillsboro. Our plans for Hillsboro's first inclusive park and playground will move forward with construction that's expected to begin this spring. We relaunched the City of Hillsboro website with a mobile-first focus and information in multiple languages. It housed features like How Do I, Service Finder, and a more responsive design, including icons to help users find what they're looking for. And it's easy to add the web page to your smartphone for even easier access to events and activities while you're on the go. Our new electronic plan review system makes it easier for everyone to move forward with a business or home construction project. Whether it's a small remodel or a multi-billion-dollar building, all building plans are now reviewed electronically in Hillsboro. This saves time and paper so that projects can move forward faster while still being reviewed for their safety. And even during the pandemic, this past year, our Community Development Department issued 7,600 permits, resulting in $2 billion of investment in our community. We made it easier for you to pay your utility bill online through our new payment system, and we made it easier to set up a payment plan or assistant plan for those who need the help. Now, during the pandemic, we've made it easier for everyone to access City Council meetings online. And we're providing a link to each City Council meeting agenda to the thousands of subscribers to our Happening in Hillsboro email newsletter. And if you haven't signed up, after tonight's State of the City address is the perfect time to head to the Happening in Hillsboro webpage and add your email. Now, within our love of Hillsboro comes the recognition of the challenges that our community faces. This is an opportunity to talk about what we're doing to address these challenges. One of the top challenges we see in our community and in every community is homelessness. We have big hearts in Hillsboro, and we want to find solutions to care for our community members while maintaining our quality of life that we have worked hard to create. We care about those who are experiencing homelessness, and we care about those who are affected by it in their neighborhoods, in local parks, and on their commute. Now, over this last year, we launched the city's first community-wide survey on homelessness, which led to over 800 responses and provided a deeper understanding of what our community wants on outreach, engagement, and being responsive. As a city, we created city-run temporary shelters at 3 locations: the Winter Weather Shelter at Civic Center, the Wood Street Camp, and the Salvation Army Indoor Shelter. And at the start of the year, we announced plans for a year-round shelter near Dairy Creek Park. A large portion of the funding for this comes from Hillsboro's American Rescue Plan funds, also known as ARPA. Now, one of the most important ways to address homelessness is to prevent it in the first place by increasing our supply of available, affordable housing. So this year, construction will begin on the Nueva Esperanza Affordable Housing Project near 53rd Avenue Community Park. This project will add 150 new affordable housing units with deeply affordable 2, 3, and 4-bedroom apartments geared towards families. We are also partnering with Habitat for Humanity on an affordable home ownership project that will build 18 new houses for future homeowners. The recent fires provided another challenge, having deeply impacted our friends and neighbors in downtown Hillsboro, and we recognize that it is going to be a long and challenging recovery. So thanks to each and every one of you who have stepped up to provide support and encouragement to those who have been affected. We are a community of 100,000 people, and one way that we can all meet this challenge is to shop downtown, dine downtown, and enjoy the entertainment that downtown offers.
I love Hillsboro because of the people. I'm grateful to live in a place where everyone gives back, and in doing so, we create a more cohesive and overall better community. Any city is just boundary lines on a map. It's the people and the experiences that make it so much more. There's joy to living here, and it's a place that people are proud to be a part of. I love how friendly Hillsboro is and how we're creating a welcoming city for everyone. We still have work to do to make sure we're living up to that goal, but we are doing it. I love how many things there are for people to do of all ages. My wife, daughter, and I go to the parks, outdoor zen, and libraries all the time. The Saturday and Tuesday night markets feel so vibrant, and the numerous events that bring people together are great. Finally, I love the place. The trees, the creeks, the wetlands, and the rain. This is my home, and I'm proud of that.
Thank you, Councilor Martin. Another challenge that we all face is mental health. We often think of mental health issues as associated with those who exhibit their struggles publicly, but there are many of us who struggle with mental health issues privately. It's any of us, and it's all of us. And we need to remember that because we have endured 2 years of a pandemic, and it's affected each and every one of us in deeply personal ways. So acknowledging this is doing something about it. And we are working to care for those who are in need of support and to help them find the resources that are available. We also need to remember to care for others when we are behind the wheel of a car or truck. Drivers have an awesome responsibility behind the wheel to ensure the safety of those who are walking and riding, especially those of us the most vulnerable, those who are using a walker or those who are riding with training wheels. We have to drive defensively, thoughtfully, graciously, and patiently. And we need to put down the phone and eliminate distractions. Let's not cut through neighborhoods just to shave a couple of minutes off of our drive time. Let's make sure the neighborhoods stay safe for the children to play in. And when we do this, we will lessen pedestrian deaths and injuries. Eliminating pedestrian deaths and injuries is also why we're working with ODOT and Washington County to enhance lighting on TV Highway and to connect Hillsboro, Cornelius, and Forest Grove through the Council Creek Trail. Another challenge is connecting and engaging with community members during a pandemic. Because of COVID, we can't meet in person as much, and you all have so much going on in your lives. So we as a city need to work harder to connect with you and to listen. And that's why we hired Rania Ayub as our very first community engagement manager to help ensure that all community voices are heard and included as part of the decision-making process. As a side note, Rania also created the logo for this year's event, and I want to thank her and wish her well in her recovery from her hiking injury. I love that we are working to hear from a wide range of people across generations, ages, ethnicities, genders, and abilities. And in many cases, people that we've not connected with before. Community visioning will continue to inform us about moving forward with future investments and redevelopment along 10th Avenue, or Calle Diaz. We are ensuring that we hear from people in the immediate area, particularly our Latino neighbors and business owners who have invested so much in the long-term success of 10th Avenue. Their voices will guide us in the right direction. But we're not waiting to take action. Based on the voices we have heard thus far, we have allocated more than $770,000 in American Rescue Plan funding along the 10th Avenue corridor to provide storefront and tenant improvements, cleanup, and other short-term improvements. The Block 67 development project is being aided by community engagement, including 1,165 responses to the city's online survey last year. Clearly, this is an important block and opportunity for our residents and our cities. The members of the first ever Hillsboro Police Community Advisory Group were selected to advise Police Chief Jim Coleman on issues that impact the community. And I also want to recognize Hillsboro Police Department employee Erlene Ryman. Erlene received the Robert Phillips Regional Diversity Award for her outreach work in marginalized communities. She is the first person from Hillsboro or Washington County to ever receive this award, and we are so proud of her and all of her colleagues for the great work that they're doing serving our community. Another big challenge that we are all facing are rising costs. You feel it, I feel it, we all feel it. And as a service provider, Hillsboro continues to provide these services even though costs are increasing. So we feel it whether we're an employer or an employee, whether we're starting out as a young adult or planning our years ahead as seniors. And many of these challenges can lead to stressors or pressures for all of us. And as we feel it in our roles as parents, family members, as friends, neighbors, as co-workers, customers, we recognize that things are hard and life can be hard, and we recognize this. So we can support each other and address these challenges by extending grace, civility, and kindness. You see, we don't always know the journey that each other is on, nor do we know the burdens that each of us carry. But giving a kind word or a smile can make a big difference. And in doing so, we accept all of these challenges before us in Hillsboro, and we begin to work to do something about it.
Hello, I'm Counselor Olivia Alcare, and it's an honor to serve you, and I'm excited to share why I love Hillsboro. We're a great city because so many people were impacted by the pandemic, and we're slowly coming back. Thanks to all the community leaders and organizations who continue to help people with rent and utility assistance, food boxes, and more. Thanks to all the essential workers who teach our children and drive them to school, those who pump our gas and check us out in grocery lines, and the folks providing public transit. Vaccination events, these happened and sprung up everywhere. Thank you to healthcare providers like OHSU and Virginia Garcia, nonprofits like Vienna Star and Wasco Chamber of Commerce, and the Hillsboro Hops for creating access to vaccinations and boosters. The welcoming of more big business and creation of jobs happened, and the ongoing partnership we have with PCC to support Future Connect students is important, as well as with Prosperidad to help prepare future workers and business owners. The Wasco Chamber of Commerce support for small business recovery was outstanding. City, county, and state support for Latino and other small businesses on 10th Avenue, Calle 10, who have withstood the pandemic and impact of the new Wasco Bridge Shelter. For neighborhoods, we have the opening of the Hidden Creek Community Center, new affordable housing options such as Nueva Esperanza, and South Hillsboro, our newest community and development. Finally, I'd like to thank many of you who spread goodwill across our city and came together to help others. Real-life heroes help us all see beauty in our city, appreciate nature, and honor diversity, equity, and inclusion. Happy to see people coming out for events, enjoying our parks and libraries, and spending time at Jackson Bottom, the Shark, and enjoying Hops games. And to city staff, thank you for working so hard to keep our city going, and our police and fire personnel who ensure our safety every day. These are the things I think about daily and why I love Hillsboro.
Thank you, Counselor Alcare. One of the things that she mentioned is nature. And that's one of the things that helps us cope with these many stressors. Getting out and enjoying the nature around us and the many places outside. I love that we have the Tualatin River running along the edge of Hillsboro and a boat launch and checkout at Rood Bridge Park where you can kayak the river for free. I love that we have a huge urban park in Orenco Woods and a wildlife preserve in Jackson Bottom. I love that there's a plan to connect them both through the Crescent Park Greenway Trail. And from my office, I love looking at the sequoias in the courthouse square, and I'm grateful to John Porter, who planted them there in 1880. I love that every spring we see daffodils and tulips and other flowers blooming in our parks. Thanks to our maintenance workers for making sure that throughout our parks we have such beautiful parks in our city. I love our facilities like Shark and Hidden Creek Community Center, and someday in the future, we will have pools at both. Now, what places do you love the most in Hillsboro? Maybe it's the playgrounds where your kids and grandkids play, splash, and have imaginary adventures. Maybe it's our newest disc golf course at Dairy Creek Park, Or the newest park in the South Hillsboro neighborhood, Tamarack Park, where people can gather to play bocce ball. Or Little Bagley Park in downtown, where people gather to picnic. So what's your favorite neighborhood? Maybe it's the old Orenco neighborhood. Maybe it's the historic downtown or the Chute Park neighborhood. Maybe it's the stretch along 10th Avenue or South Hillsboro, or the growing popularity of the Amber Glen neighborhood. And maybe, like me, it's the neighborhood that greets you right outside your front door. It could be that your neighborhood isn't just one place, but it's the act of traveling around, the ability to hop on Max so easily, to walk, to bike, or to drive a few minutes to buy fresh flowers and fresh produce. I love that we're close to our neighbors in Cornelius and Beaverton and Forest Grove, and that we are able to enjoy these communities as well. Because we're not just close in proximity, we're also close with them in our relationships. And I love that we're about 70 miles from the coast and 70 miles from Mount Hood. And on clear days like we've enjoyed this week, we can see Mount Hood clearly and beautifully from Hillsboro. Now, it's obvious I love our food. And we don't need to travel to get great food or drink, because Hillsboro has mercados and bakeries and panaderias, and we have great places to get local coffee, beer, wine, and other drinks. So what food do you love most in Hillsboro? Maybe it's our Mexican food, Indian food, Vietnamese food, Ethiopian food, Japanese food, or so many other restaurants and food carts that reflect the best dishes of Hillsboro's cultures. And maybe it's the food that is served to your parent or your grandparent every day at the senior center. Now, I love that Reese's Fine Foods makes those fine foods here in Hillsboro. And I love that Beaverton Foods has a presence here in Hillsboro as well. And I love having the Carts on Main food cart pod in downtown Hillsboro. And I love seeing the parklets for outdoor dining. And I love knowing that we are going to see more restaurants and more investment in our downtown's future, including at 2nd and Main. People go where they can have a good time and eat a great meal. And downtown Hillsboro has that covered. I love that I can dine and shop locally and know that by doing so, my money stays here in my community and is recycled time and time again. Because by purchasing local, we're doing more than buying something. Whether it's cars or appliances, clothes or goods or services, supporting our local businesses keeps the money circulating here in our community and creates economic opportunities for others. And remember to keep in mind those businesses who support our schools and organizations, those who donate gift certificates for raffles or make cash donations. Keep them in mind when you decide where to spend your money. Now, I love our local arts and entertainment. You can watch professional theater at Bag and Baggage, or community theater at Hart or Stages. Or you can support our students on any given night at a high school play or concert. I love the creativity of the music that you can enjoy at many venues throughout Hillsboro, from the Walters Cultural Arts Center to Coyotes to Pizza Rio to Tuesday Night Market and Friday Night Bites. I love that Hillsboro is the first city in Washington County to create an arts and culture district. And I also love that we hired our first cultural arts district manager, who will collaborate with artists, entrepreneurs, and community members to support connections between neighbors and cultures. We celebrate our cultures through a series of in-person events, online experiences, and information sharing for Black History Month, Women's History Month, Asian Pacific Islander Month, Pride Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, Native American Heritage Month, and more. And I love that this summer we will have a 2-day chalk art festival in downtown Hillsboro, La Strada dei Pastelli. And this year we supported our downtown Hillsboro businesses with enhanced render lighting, which created festive streets throughout downtown. Now, you can find public art throughout Hillsboro, and I'm really proud to announce plans for our newest and largest public art project, the Bridge of Land and Sky. The 290-foot-long, 9 to 12-foot-high piece of artwork designed by acclaimed artist Cliff Garton will span the length of each side of the Brookwood Overpass over Highway 26. And after it's installed later this year, this art will serve as a landmark gateway to Hillsboro, welcoming and delighting residents, guests, and travelers. And like me, maybe one of the places you love in Hillsboro is our Brookwood Library or our Chute Park Library, where you can listen to story time in your native language or check things out from our Library of Things. I love that our library sponsors our annual citywide book reading event, Hillsboro Reads. And this year, I'm looking forward to reading and discussing our selected title, Nomadland, and the companion young adult book, No Fixed Address. I love how friendly and helpful our library staff are. And they are a big reason why so many kids love coming to the library to read. I love that our libraries offer Wi-Fi inside and out. They offer public art, and they even have hotspots for people to check out.
Hi, I'm Councilor Rick Van Beveren. There's a lot to like about living in Hillsboro. We live in a beautiful valley surrounded by farms and forests, close to ocean beaches and majestic mountains. We live in a diverse community that enriches the life of each and every resident. We have an historic downtown, nice neighborhoods, good schools. We enjoy beautiful parks, recreation and cultural opportunities, fairs, festivals, and sporting events. We have a solid economic base that offers job and career advancement opportunities. And we have, in my view, excellent municipal services: police, fire and rescue, public works, parks and recreation, and our wonderful libraries. We plan for our future water supply, our readiness for earthquakes, municipal high-speed internet, and climate resiliency. We work together collaboratively to solve problems and address challenges life inevitably presents. That's why we're consistently rated one of the best places to live in the country.
Thank you, Councilor Van Beveren. Now, as I think about the events that I love the most, I've thought about those events that I've missed the most during the pandemic. There's the Oregon International Air Show, which supports local charities, delights kids of all ages, even big kids like me. And I love that this year's Hillsboro Air Show on May 20th, 21st, and 22nd will be the first ever all-female performer air show. I love the St. Patrick's Day Parade and the 4th of July Parade, and I have missed them both dearly, but not nearly as much as our children and families have missed them. And we look forward to gathering again together along Main Street and making more memories as soon as we can. I love our county fair and the exhibits and the animals. And I love the Wingspan Event Center and what it has brought to our community. It will be a go-to destination for conferences and festivals. And in fact, next month, the Hillsboro Beer Festival is bringing beer lovers from all over Oregon to here to Hillsboro. So what events do you love most? Maybe it's Tuesday Market or El Grito. Maybe it's Showtime at Chute or the Pride Party. Maybe it's driving through the award-winning Lightopia, which returned for year number 2 at Hillsboro Stadium, bigger and brighter. Or maybe it's getting out of the car and strolling along Main Street during First Tuesday Art Walk. It could be the annual lighting of the holiday tree, no matter how big the tree may be. And maybe it's watching the Hillsboro Hops play at Ron Tonkin Field and enjoying the post-game fireworks. After the 2020 season was canceled due to COVID, it was so exciting to gather again to watch the Hops. And they returned 2 levels up as part of the High A West League with more home games. And this year, they also had a roommate from Canada, the Vancouver Canadians. They played all of their home games in Hillsboro as well, due to the Canadian-U.S. border closure due to the pandemic. Now, I love that Gordon Faber Recreation Center, named after our former mayor, is the home of the Hops, and it's also the home of Portland State University football, Portland State softball, and Portland State men and women's soccer. And I love that the Hillsboro Hops and the city of Hillsboro are looking ahead to the future and undertaking an expansion of Ron Tonkin Field to provide more amenities and an even better fan experience that will help attract more people from throughout the region to visit Hillsboro. I love that we have so much to look forward to in Hillsboro. And let's rejoice in this fact. Our opportunities will continue to grow in the years ahead, and I am glad that you will all be a part of it. So thank you to the City of Hillsboro team who worked to make this event happen. Thanks to our friends from TVC TV, Roberto, Cristo, Jonathan, and John for making the online live stream possible and for producing the videos. So remember to have optimism for brighter days ahead and many new joyful memories to be made. Thank you, Hillsboro, for joining me in this 2022 State of the City and in celebrating all we love about our community.
I love Hillsboro because I love our creativity. And we see that creativity in our 2020 and 2035 community plan. And I see our creativity in our visual arts and our performing arts. The creativity that comes through is just amazing. And I see it in the entrepreneurial spirit of every person who has a dream and every person that has their business. And I also love Hillsboro because of our generosity. So many people, they generously give their volunteer hours, or they share their expertise, or they give their resources and money. And what I love about Hillsboro is during this time of the pandemic, so many people brought their creativity and their generosity together to meet the needs of all of us. Thank you, Hillsboro. I love you.